Welcome to Unstoppable Podcast with Harry Sardinas, inspiring conversations with influential millionaires, investors, thought leaders, entrepreneurs who are making a massive difference with their innovative products and services, and sharing the challenges and the wisdom of how they sold their first million.
How would you like to achieve your first million in sales? And today we have role models we have women in the podcast, so we are very happy because we need more women in our podcast series. Jennifer has been so brave, and we are very proud that she's joining us today. So please, Jennifer, can you introduce yourself?
Harry, first of all, thank you so much for inviting me to be on your show. It's an absolute thrill to be able to come here, talk to your listeners, and share the stories of what we're doing at my company, Viva Valet. So I am the co-founder and CEO of a company called Viva Valet. We provide in-home non-medical services for older adults. That means typically 75 and above, to be able to stay at home and live independently. This is so exciting because people we know in this age group want to stay home. They don't want to move to assisted living or move somewhere else. They want to stay in the place where they've lived for 20, 30 or more years. So we're here to help them with that. We do it through a tech platform, which is so easy for them to use. And the most important thing is that all of our services are trustworthy, vetted, and we know always everything is trained, examined, trialed, and we monitor all of our service providers when they go into our customers' homes. So it's really exciting because it's a growing market. Every year there's 6,000 people who are turning 65 in the United States alone. So every day that market is growing. Every day that market that's growing is becoming more tech savvy because people have already been working with tech and they're able to utilize an online platform to do this ordering. And every day we have people that are in this space who want to stay at home and are retiring. So we're really excited to share our story about how we started Viva Valet.
Wow, we congratulate you because of that. I think that the idea is fantastic because there is a lot of issues in the mental health areas when the senior have to move out from the home that they live all their life. I think that leads to depression, leads to create a new behavior. So I'm so elderly age could be a big issue in the mental health. And what I think, because you're based in Switzerland, right?
I'm based in Switzerland. And so why?
So your business is global or you only operate in Switzerland?
I'm so glad you asked. So our operations are currently in Chicago in the United States.
Oh, wow.
The journey of every entrepreneur is you're trying to scratch your own itch, right? Or you're trying to solve your own problem.
Wow, that's fantastic.
Deeply into your own problem. So I live outside of the United States. I live thousands of kilometers or thousands of miles away from my own family, my own father and aging relatives that I want to be a part of caring for. And I know that if, I've got a dad who's 88 who climbs a mountain every year on his birthday. So he's very, very active.
Wow.
However, in a moment, in the blink of an eye, things can change. With my dad and with anyone else's parent, they could be doing absolutely fine and independent and doing great. And then there could be an injury or there could be a fall, which could result in a surgery or could result in some kind of serious medical illness, which is going to require a little extra help. So we're here to help them get back to the path that they want to have, which is independent. And I think, you mentioned we're helping the elderly or seniors, olders as we call them. We're helping them with mental health. We're helping them live that independent life. The other side of the equation, you're talking about women. Women in my age, women in our age in midlife, we're often hit with two major responsibilities in addition to our careers. We're still raising children if we have families, and everyone has a mother or father, right? Those parents are aging, and it's often the adult daughter who is actually being asked to get in that car, drive the distance, get in the plane, fly there, go to the hospital, take the parents to the medical appointments, etc. It's often us who are the ones who are really burdened with this type of responsibility. And so we're here to actually alleviate some of the burden for the adult children, specifically the adult daughters. So we know that when we send services, our adult children can always monitor where those services are. We know that they can trust what's been ordered. And we also get follow-up afterwards from how our relatives are doing. So that's really, really lovely, because often if you follow an older to a doctor's appointment, it's like the Academy Awards. They are there, they're in their Academy Award winning performance. They're doing great. There's no problem. There's absolutely no issue. And then you take them home and they collapse and they're tired. And so what's happening is even the doctors who see them often, or the physical therapists, or even social workers, they see the best version of your parent. And then we know that they go home and they're tired and, as you say, maybe lonely or depressed, and they need a little extra help. So we're really excited because we actually monitor them along the way. We give you feedback like, something's going on in the environment, or something's going on with their behavior that you need to know about and take action with.
Yeah, I'm glad that you talk about this area of the life of women. When they have the parents and the children here, we call it the sandwich time. Yeah, because the women are in the middle, and then you have one side of the sandwich, which is the children, the other side of the sandwich, which is the parents, right?
Absolutely, it's sandwich generation. And one of our advisors, we have a gerontologist who works with us as an advisor, and she said she's even a club sandwich.
Why? It's a big one, right?
It's multiple layers because she has children.
Oh my God.
She has grandchildren.
Club sandwich.
She has aging relatives that she's taking care of. So it's
That's
like
funny.
sandwich plus club sandwich. Right?
Yeah, fantastic. So yeah, definitely it's a very challenging time. But let's face it, because a lot of people also say that, but because they are at home, they are alone. And this is not the case. With technology, they are not alone. I got my mom. My mom live alone actually in our flat in Spain.
Yeah.
And she's not alone. She has technology with her. She talks to everybody. She told me that she cannot cope with so many messages that she has in Facebook and in the YouTube and everything. So seniors, they're getting used to technology, right? And for example, she likes flowers. And last time I went inside her Facebook, and she has joined like 20 or 30 groups on flowers. I'm like, Mom, I didn't teach you how to do that. How you find out? And now she likes flowers. Now every day in her Facebook comes a lot of flowers. And she has a group there with seniors that like flowers, and they talk about flowers all day long anyway. So the whole point is with technology, right? I think has opened a new window for seniors to have a better life, right? And now technology is closing the gap where they can actually be at home, right? Where they live most of their life, but also rather than feel lonely or feel depressed or I'm getting old, they can be part of community, they can be part of technology groups, right? And they are more busy and more active than actually when they were young, if that makes sense, right?
I love that you say that, because I love that you are, let's say, an embracer of technology for olders, because very often, when we speak to people on podcasts or in the media, the point is, but come on, older people can't use technology. And I love that you give the example in the story of your mother, how she's fully embracing technology, because we believe the same.
My dad also,
Your dad too? Amazing.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
And we're talking from my mom at the beginning. My mom never, she always have secretaries, PA, and so on. So she had to touch the computer and the phone very little on her life, right? So her skills dealing with the phone and everything was close to zero, very, very low. And she's a literature teacher, so she doesn't knew anything about tech. But it's impressive how little by little, right? One day you show her one app, another day another app, and like this, and gradually they start, I think, to discover by themselves the potential, and they can use these tools to turn into the direction that they really like. It was like I'm sharing with you. It was never in my mind that my mom we're gonna end up, with the whole community of talking about flowers with senior from United States. From some of them speak English, some of them speak Spanish. Doesn't matter. They understand each other because they all like flowers, and it's amazing. And And I think the technology also bring them together. In the certain when you have certain age, right? You
Yeah.
have like you want to become part of a group. You want to become part of the community, and it becomes more difficult and difficult if you are located in an area. But if you have global access, right? Then you can find more people of the community that you want to be part of to join that, right? So now,
Yeah.
Jennifer,
100%.
question. You're now operating in Chicago. Are you running a pilot project and you want to extend to United States? Can you bring it to Switzerland? Or,
Yes.
or we have tech restrictions?
So let me first pause just for a moment just to comment on the tech piece, because again, we are a technology platform that delivers physical services. And I think to that
Wow.
point where I so embrace the beauty of your mother's story, and that's actually the kind of story that we embraced as well, because we actually worked directly with Olders to design our tech. That means that they sat in the
Wow.
sprints with us, that they looked at all of our wireframes, that they did all the beta testing. We have done around the world testing. We've done ethnographic research in multiple countries at this point to understand what are the hopes and fears and dreams of these populations. What do they want to do? And how might they use technology? So exactly what you say for your mother as a way to have social outlet, as a way to organize life, as a way to remain independent, stay connected. That is the most important thing, is staying staying emotionally connected and
Mhm.
socially connected to others. So that's very much we're in the same frame
And
as your.
also at some point the hardware as well, right? The phones and the tablets and so on, they're designed for young people, for people in
Yes,
the 30s, 40s, right? And
yes,
when the people when they are getting old, right, they don't need thousands of functionalities. They need just what they need,
yeah,
right? And they have to be able to. They don't need 3,000 apps in the phone. They don't need the letter too small. They don't need
yeah.
maybe, I don't know, X megapixels camera, right? So they need few things that are important for them, right? And because like I said, we observe the behavior a lot. I also invest in tech companies.
Amazing, amazing.
So
You can
yeah,
invest in us.
so we are
You're welcome.
inside the tech space really really deep. So we understand the challenges and we understand the also the potential, right? And
Yeah.
also we have to start to Jennifer, exactly like you have done in the tech space, um, to produce tools and softwares, right, and technology that are specific for a group of people, because we can say that we have the YouTube, the Facebook, the this and that, right? But these platforms are so big, they are so general, and the elderly, they do have special needs
Yeah.
that they are specific to them, and they have completely different interests. And like you said, for example, something that is really powerful is combine the tech. What I always talk, combine the offline with the online with the offline, right?
Yes.
I
Even,
think that,
even for example, how they hold a mobile phone, it's
yeah,
completely different. So we may be texting like this as youngers,
yeah,
but they're going to hold the phone like this.
exactly. So at
So
some
all of those
point,
kinds of things. Yeah.
uh,
And like you say, reduction of choice. We've used the principles of neurology, neuroscience to really heighten the contrast of color, size, reduction in choice, making the flows really, really simple. And in terms of teaching olders how to use the tech, we actually give cell phone workshops in the community in Chicago where we serve. And that's actually one of the services that we have. We do in-home tech. So for example, if you need in-home tech workshops, cell phone workshops, setting up your in-home tech setting, basically, as well as rides, as well as food delivery, as well as handyman services, home modification to be able to age in your home more safely, and cleaning. So all those kinds of things are always in play. And tech is very much in demand. And I love the story of what you said about your mother. She had someone else who was using the computer. She didn't need to use it, but little by little she learned. And this is exactly what we've learned as well, is that if you give them the right sort of curriculum and platform and learn in the terms that they wish to learn, which is learning what they want to learn. So very, like when we do cell phone workshops, for example, things like, I want to be connected to my grandchildren, so teach me how to send a photo. Or teach me how to
Exactly.
make a Spotify playlist, something that delights them. Those are the things that, really, it's simple things that are aligned to what they wish to achieve. So I'm totally aligned, and I love hearing these stories about your own family and your own journey, because it's very much like what we've been going through in the last couple of years.
And I know a lot of investors follow our podcast. So, if you guys looking for a great investment opportunity, there you go. You can contact Jennifer. She has space for develop devices for seniors, which I think that the software and the hardware in that particular niche, in that particular demographic, they need to be hand to hand. I think that there is a lot that we can do with the software in terms of user experience and user interface to make them friendly for them. Still, the device, like you said, it has to be prepared for them because they hold it in a different way. They they tap in a different way. They need probably a bigger size because a device that is actually comfortable for them, because this is one of the issues that I see with my parents, right? They really want to engage, but I already changed 3 phones.
Yeah.
Because she's not comfortable, but now she wants to be inside. So okay, we bought one bigger, and then we bought one more, and now finally with this one, she's like, okay, but still the device not prepared, not designed for her, right? So we need to keep looking around or develop hardware for the senior. Now, so regarding the services that you deliver offline, right? Can you tell us a little bit more about that?
So services online and offline. So the offline services is what we deliver into the home. So we deliver rides. That's a very popular feature because it's not just like ordering an Uber. It's actually having a ride where we will go into the home, bring them, escort them into the car, walk them into their medical appointment,
Of
load their
course.
wheelchair, all these kinds of things, all these extra little touches, the extra mile kinds of touches that they require. We also do assisted rides. So for example, if they do have to require additional assistance with a wheelchair or walker, those kinds of things. And then it's prepared.
Specialized for that. Yeah.
Yeah, exactly. Prepared meals. So again, beyond an Uber Eats from a restaurant, these are actually prepared meals that are healthy. They have specific
Designed for them.
requirements, and it could be like 5 days worth of meals. We deliver them, we put them in the refrigerator, we take away the waste so that they don't have to deal with all the garbage. So that's actually another extra step that makes it easy for them. There's cleaning services, which could be light and heavy cleaning, laundry, all these kinds of things. And speaking of cleaning, very often laundry facilities are maybe on a stair level below than their living level, which could be potentially a risk of falls, risks of tripping, these kinds of things, which is why our handyman service is so absolutely critical, because we do home safety assessments.
Oh,
and
wow.
handyman can actually do the modifications. So extra grab bars, raising toilets, removing loose carpet, which could be a tripping hazard. We know that, of the 80,000.
Removing the bath and make a walk-in shower, which is something really common in this. We done it ourselves also, right?
All those things. So home modifications are really, really key, especially in this demographic.
You do need to modify the home, yeah? We done it.
Yeah. So those things, and it could also be, furniture delivery. Sometimes they are moving, let's say, into an assisted living facility, but they still need assistance assembling furniture, for example, or with the move. So we're supporting those kinds of things as well. And of course, the in-home tech. We have other services that are coming that we're building out that are really exciting, like pharmacy deliver, pet care,
amazing.
Removal of snow, groundskeeping outside,
wow.
kinds of things. Yeah, all those things.
Very good.
Yeah.
There is one, for example, that you're talking, that you share with us regarding Uber, or when you do any home delivery. And we do have, we saw a case, right, with our friend, one of our friend also living alone in the house, right? And this is the issue. When he ordered the water, or they bring a box of water, And of course, the whoever delivering the goods, they leave the stuff downstairs. You
Yeah.
cannot ask the delivery guy to go upstairs. I think that I spoke with my friend, and my friend said, "No, no, no, no. I don't want them to take the box of water upstairs, because if something happen, I think that they can sue the company might sue, because they don't have insurance to. They are only allowed to drop it by the door, right? And but then the guy is stuck with the water downstairs. I had to go myself and pick up the water and take it away. Call me, Harry, can you please help me? I say, okay, I'll go. I said, what happened? I said, yeah, the food is here, but I need it upstairs. So I cannot ask the delivery guy to take the thing upstairs.
So this is also part of our safety and trust promise, because exactly what you're describing, we go through a rigorous vetting process. In fact, 7 different steps of vetting, background checks, criminal background checks, ensuring that they have insurance, bonding, these kinds of things. We do special training.
And
They
it's
have to
designed for that. If they need a box of water to be taken
exactly,
upstairs and live in a certain place, that will be placed exactly where they want. And
exactly.
all the service is 360 specialized for that demographic, from food to house refurbish to the deliveries, because for the delivery they do have special needs. Okay.
Yeah, exactly,
Oh,
exactly. So
and
all of
then
that,
so we also want to now to know a little bit more about your story about entrepreneur. What happened? How do you decide to to start a tech business with connecting with services to the elderly, which is it's like really far away one thing from the other one.
yeah.
What led you to it?
Yeah, so I think that every entrepreneur's journey comes with solving their own problem.
Mm-hmm.
So
Oh,
it's
wow.
very much understanding what is the problem that you are trying to solve in your own life, and knowing that you're an example of other people that have the same problem. So for me, it is living a great distance away from my aging relatives. My founder, thinking about this 3 years ago, came to me to pitch the idea and saying, let's do this together. How could I
Wow.
say no? So we both had the same issue, which was aging relatives living thousands of miles or kilometers away from us, knowing that we needed to be able to, in a moment's notice, order something that could support them to live independently, which wasn't a medical kind of solution. And so we knew that we needed to have the ability to do that. We needed to do it through a tech platform. We needed to do it in a way that would guarantee trust and safety. And we needed to do it in a way that would give feedback mechanisms to the family and to us, so that we always knew where those people are that are going into the homes, but also how is our customer doing along the way. So I think there have been moments of times when different companies have tried to do this and the technology wasn't right there at the moment. So if you think about like an Expedia.com or Booking.com, the way that they consolidate services to plan a holiday or vacation, that's sort of the way we envisioned it for ourselves, to build this. So that was really the spark that created the issue. We spent a lot of time doing research and getting ready and making sure that we could collect a community of elders that could advise us along the way. You'd asked before about our geography. Where are we launching? Where did we launch, and where are we currently, and what's our plan? And I think, again, because we're living outside of the US, clearly it's a plan that we have, that we want this to be national in the US. We want this to be ex-US as well. But why did we launch in Chicago? We found that when we dug deeply into the census data from 2020, we found that Chicago and its outlying communities had the largest concentration of people in this age group that we're segmenting, 75 and above, who were living in the home that they've lived in for the last 20 to 30 years. And they were living alone. So often they were widows or widowers, and their children were living at least 10 miles away from them. So that was mimicking the problem that we had, which is,
Mm-hmm.
well, our parents are living alone. We're living far away. And what we discovered, Harry, is that although we're an extreme version of what we're trying to solve for, being outside of the country, if you're living 30 minutes drive away from your parent, that's still the same type of psychological distance where you need someone to be there in the snap of a finger. Some of our
Yeah.
customers even have moved into the Chicago area. I have a customer who was living in Oregon and for a long time was
Wow.
living in Costa Rica.
because they have the support, right?
Well, they were living in Costa Rica, living their great retired life, enjoying, and they realized they had to be closer to their family because they wanted to be closer to their grandchildren and they wanted to be closer to their children themselves. And so they moved into those areas so they could be closer, but they still don't want to disturb their children because their children are at work. So, the story of one of our customers, this person who moved from Costa Rica back up to Chicago to be near his kids. And his daughter is a big go-getter in a tech company. She can't be the person who drives him to his eye surgery or to
Of
dialysis,
course.
to other medical appointments.
Of
Although
course.
he'd like that to be the case, she's also busy. So he relies on us to do that for him. So, one of the early things that we hoped for when we founded the company was someday we're going to hear from a customer, I don't know what I would do without Viva Valet. I don't know how I could have accomplished this task or done this thing. We've heard it so many times already. Things like, I don't know how I could have got to my eye surgery. I don't know how I could have done my move. I don't know how I could have modified my home to keep my home safe for my aging wife who really needs extra support without you guys to do this for us because you came in, you did high quality service and we trusted you. So it's just been a beautiful story so far for our customers.
So happy.
Excuse me.
I'm so happy. I think that when it comes to tech, and I'm glad that you brought that up, right? We have the challenges in technology in the tech space. It's very common that we find founders, and they are all 100% focus in the tech, focus in the technology. They want to make the better product. They want to write the best code, but they're not listening to the customer. They are not listen the customer needs, and they don't realize that it doesn't matter that you have the best rocket science technology. That technology have to serve the needs of your customers, and it had to be designed not how you want it, it's how your customers want it, what they want, what they need, what they are using. And I think that there is a huge gap always in tech startup when we look at them, that the technology is on the left, and then they think that they can sell it to the customers on the right, but the customers on the right, they don't need this as it is. They need something adapted to their needs. So I think that, Jennifer.
I love you. I love you, Harry.
Good, good,
I
good.
really, I love you.
Like you too. You're very colorful.
But that is so much the story, is that I get it, and I've seen this, especially in the older spaces. I have a great idea. I'll build this. I'll do it. Oh, why aren't they using it? Oh, it's because they were never tested or they were never asked. That's why the journey for us was really hand in hand from the very beginning to co-design with Olders to, first of all, understand what is it that they need and to really dig deeply into their problem. So, to be an entrepreneur is to write a daily love letter to your customers to say, I see you, I'm listening to you, I want to understand your world, and I'm here watching to see what you need, and I'm exploring with great passion and commitment your current challenges and how I'm going to help you solve those challenges, instead of saying, I have this cool thing, let me sell it to you. So that's very much our journey. And we're so, it's not always an easy journey. That journey is not an easy one.
Exactly, and
It takes
expensive
more time.
also.
Expensive.
Expensive. You have to do
time.
research. You need to adapt to what they need,
Yeah.
and nobody wants to spend, right?
Yeah.
And it's very
Yeah, so I'm-
expensive to build the relation with the customers, and to understand the need. But once I think that what I share with founders around the world, and with tech startups, is that there is a concept that they always is misunderstood, which is the long-term value of the client, right? They're thinking, oh, I need a lot of clients, but they're missing out that if that client is happy, right, and you listen to the problem, you listen to the needs, this client will stay with you forever, right? Will stay with you a lot of time, and that a happy clients bring you more happy clients. So
Yeah.
now you don't have to spend a lot in customer acquisition. I think that the best marketing strategy that everybody can do out there when they're in the tech space is this one: listen to your clients and keep them happy. And this is Amazon, the biggest company in the world, retailer. That was the main goal all the time. Listen to the customer, and that's why they're so huge, right?
That's why they're so huge. Exactly. They keep giving us what we want.
Exactly, because they listen to the clients, but it's expensive. Nobody thought at the beginning how expensive it was, but it was a huge expensive exercise for them. Like, oh, deliver the stuff fast. Oh, give you the return if you don't like it quickly. No question asked. This is a very expensive thing to do. However, it built the relationship with the client to the point that now the clients are long term. So I think that in the tech space, there is a missing, and that's why you're so successful, and that's why your company is thriving, because you do have to develop a piece of technology with IP that is proprietary to you guys, that is unique and obviously serve, but it's designed to serve the needs of your clients, and you constantly listen to them, you constantly improving the technology for what they're telling you, not for what you guys think that is better for them. Make sense?
Yeah,
I-
exactly.
that's
Perfectly said.
fantastic.
That sounds so very much like our journey. And so thank you
Glad
for
to hear.
acknowledging
You're
it.
gonna
Thank
do
you
well.
thank you.
You're
Well,
gonna do well.
it'll be wonderful if we do well. And
How about the government? The government is not giving you any funding. They should
so
give you a lot of
if
money. Yeah,
if we do well, it means that we
millions
have a
on
whole
this,
lot
and
of
they get very little done. Right? They should give you something. Are they helping you?
So this is the next phase, is that we are aiming to partner with, in the United States, the Medicare Advantage
They
program.
have to. They
Yes,
have to, because they're spending a fortune and they get very little done. Yeah, in my opinion.
and on this point, one of our, I don't know if I call it a competitor, because the space is so massive and the demand is so huge, and everyone needs to be on their A game to support olders to live at home
Mhm.
independently. But there's a competitor of ours who's just recently done some research on over an 18-month period, when they used one service like what we use, like in-home services like us,
Mhm.
they lowered their Medicare costs by 9% per
There you
year.
go. There you
And
go.
they lowered their hospitalization rates by
Yeah.
22%. I mean, that is massive.
Mm.
So we're doing the same kind of work.
Exactly.
And so we know
Competitor
that
is
we
not good.
also,
Competitor is good. Competitor is not bad.
no,
This competitor out there is good because it will. At the end of the day, is the cost, is the consumer who get the biggest benefit, right? Is somebody out there is delivering, and this is something a lot of people see when they find a competitor. Oh, I have a competitor. I It's the opposite, right? If
yeah,
you have a competitor, the good news. That means that there's demand for what you're doing. You should be happy.
100%,
People are actually
100%.
buying this.
100%. And it's huge. The problem that we're trying to solve is so massive that, please, everyone, it'll also help us serve the elders better. One of the
Mhm.
major problems in this space is fraud and is theft.
Exactly. Yeah.
And so, if you're another entrepreneur who wants to go into this space, and you can also have this commitment to safety and to trust and to no fraud. So, for example, for us, no cash payments ever, no
Very
tipping
good.
ever,
Yeah,
no
because they
touching of
cannot
money,
handle it. That's
no,
very good.
no cash payments, no tipping, nothing that could potentially be
Exactly.
a
Brace
fraud.
the values of your brand. Yeah. I think at the end of the day, you guys are building a brand. Yeah. And eventually you will be the go-to people to deliver these services, same way that Uber is the way that with the taxis now, right?
Yeah, yeah.
Most of the time. So it's all about, building the brand and aligns to the value of the brand. And competition is good. Is
Yeah.
nothing wrong about it. I think that it's more terrifying when I see companies that come to me and say, "Oh, we have this idea. Nobody had done it before." Oh my god! Every time that I hear this,
Yeah.
they're so excited, and I'm like, man, if
Yeah.
nobody had done it, maybe it's for a reason.
And
So
I think you're right. You can always innovate on it. You can take an
of course,
existing
you can always
innovate it,
innovate,
make it
but
bigger, make it smaller, make it more niche, all these things. And I think it's all about, do you love the idea? You know,
Mhm.
and it's more than the idea. It's, do you have the right customer focus? Do you have the love of your customers? Are you
Exactly.
in
Can you
love?
listen to your clients? Can you build the
Yeah,
brand by listening to your clients?
yeah,
All that type of thing goes in consideration, and it's why people think that building a tech company is all about to have fantastic code and have genius working on this, and it's way more complex than that.
yeah,
This is just a part of it. Could be 20%, but the rest is it has you have to implement the business dynamic, the general business dynamic for any of the business, and you need to bring on board experts that they are understand your clients and they can uh, supply the needs of the clients. Now, I love the model. The model is very good. I love it. Anything that is tech relating online and offline world, connected online and on live, I love it. I think that all the successful technology that they are there, lots of them are in this space. Like the Uber is combining the online work with the offline, because actually a taxi you take it on offline, right? You take it on the street.
yeah,
So, or let's call it the physical world with the online world. Yeah, that's a better term.
yeah,
So
yeah.
those type of applications have a huge potential. So we see a bright future for you guys. Now we're going to ask you the question that all our listeners are waiting for.
Mhm.
So, in your opinion, what is your blueprint? What are the 5 steps that you guys are done that you think that led you to achieve your first million in sales?
Yeah. So, really happy to talk about this. Let me count them down. So, number one, I think it was 100% commitment to our customers, to being committed to understanding their world, understanding their um, challenges and the problems that they were trying to solve. That led us to select the services that we're actually delivering and that we are cultivating. Um, so
Wow, so your step one is listen and be committed to your clients.
listen.
Wow, I love it. Very
Listen,
good.
be committed, understand their hopes, their dreams, their fears, and
Wow.
the challenge that they have on a daily basis. And that's what we did through ethnography, for example. So we invested 2 months in cameras in homes, ethnographic research to fully understand what are the things they wish to do, what do they not wish to do, what would they like to outsource, and how would they use tech for that. So really understanding your customer, number one. Number two, it is really about building the right team. Do you have a winning team? Because it's not just about an idea that you have. Ideas are dimes a dozen, really. But do you have the right people who can be together, that can both do the work operationally, and actually can you call in and ask for help for people that can advise you along the way? So I think we were able to build an incredible team, like ex Uber, ex Visa,
Wow.
ex Google, current Google, as gerontologists, people that work in the area,
Very
in
good.
housing. And so we have the right experts that are advised us in the early stages and continue to feed us with information. And then we hired the right team, all people that are hungry and curious and really just willing to keep diving into that passion that we have, going back into number one. So people, I think that also being willing to just lean in and embrace the failures along the way. So what we didn't talk about in
Yeah,
this is
it's gonna be
I
a lot
do,
of failures, right?
yeah. So
It's not an
I do
easy ride.
my kind of passion project, my hobby and kind of passion projects is I do improv comedy. And one of the features of improv comedy is to fail with joy. And so in the world of
Wow.
entrepreneurships, it's fail fast. I mean, on when you're on stage and you're doing a sketch, right? And you're trying to build something, you're always building something from nothing, right? You get an idea and you create a story, you create a show. It's the same thing with
And you don't
entrepreneurship.
know if people are gonna laugh or not.
And you don't know, and you don't know, and it's the best feedback because you get it in real time. very much the same when you shorten that learning cycle, entrepreneurs, like make small bets. So do you have a 5-day challenge? A/B test something over 5 days. Launch it on launch the A/B test on a Monday, stop, evaluate, A/B, did it fail? Did it not work? Which one is the winning strategy? Then go. And if it didn't work at all, fail with joy, keep going, keep going.
And keep testing, right?
And keep testing. So I think, yeah, so again, love your clients, like number one, love your people, have the best people, fail with joy. And I think, in terms of number 4, it's always the story of entrepreneurship is a lonely one. So make sure that what you're doing is something that you really truly love. And that means that often people say, I'm going to go into entrepreneurship and I'm going to make that $1 billion company. And wouldn't it be great if we all make $1 billion companies?
Yeah.
But 90% of entrepreneurial ventures fail.
But if you're doing for the money, it's not going to work.
So
it will dry out eventually.
So it means love the customers and love the solutions that you're doing. Absolutely love it every day, because there are so many in like the movie script of your story that will be written about you that's on Netflix, right? There are points of the story where you're like, this sucks. This is hard. This is, we're tight on cash. We're tight on deadlines. We have something break down and we have to fix. If you keep loving that massively transformative purpose that you're driving towards, then you are actually going to be successful. So every day we keep revisiting our purpose. We are transforming the future of aging, and we're creating the world that we want to age into, because eventually you and me, we're going to need to do this. We're going to need to have this kind of support. So we're actually building that. So be in love with that massively transformative purpose over your profits. Yes, profits are important. Yes, we need to be profitable, but still love the purpose that you're doing. And I say the last, and I always end with this because it's also borrowed from the world of improv comedy, which is yes and everything. So in the world of improv, as you agree, you say yes, and you keep building. Have this yes and mindset, because if you have a yes but mindset, it's acknowledging no, you're blocking the energy.
You're already bringing the problem to space, right?
Exactly. So you keep yes anding it with your customers, yes anding it in your team, yes anding it with your investors. How do you keep yes anding to keep building something new and keeping the motivation going? Because that helps you revisit back to number 4, which is revisiting how you keep getting back to your purpose. So again, let's recap it. Love your customers and love the problems that they have. Build a world-winning team. Really embrace the fear that you might have of failure and fail with joy. What was 4?
What was 4? That's a good question. 4,
massively transformative purpose. Make sure you have a massively
purpose. Make sure that when you love what you do, so when you're working, you don't feel that you're working.
And then always yes and it. Yes and it, yes and it. We were really fortunate that we used a lot of the tools from the EXO or exponential organizations. If you've seen the work of Salim Ismail, he built part of Singularity University, and he built the exponential organizations. How do you go from 0 to 10K, 10X very, very quickly? The number one thing that they always say is have a massively transformative purpose. So that's really what we started with as well, along with loving our customers. So I hope that helps. Tell us.
Oh, yes, they're going to help. And then I want to ask you one question, which is related with the role of the CEO, because everybody, there are a lot of companies out there with that they are only driven by numbers, and they want to meet the numbers and the guidelines, right? And they forget sometimes that the people working in the company, they're human beings, right? So we do make mistakes, we have problems at home. Sometimes the performance is low, not because we're performing low, maybe we have a problem at home. And I think that in order to drive, you were talking about keep them motivated, keep them empowerment, right? So I do a lot of motivational speech around the world, and I think that inside the company, the whole point is about empower and keep the employees and the whole environment being positive and motivate them, and actually go around to ask them what help they need, because at the end of the day, they all are there because they are better than me in whatever they do, right?
Yeah.
So I usually go around my company, and what I'm asking everyone is, how can I help you? Do you need paper? Do you need print? What can I help you to
Yeah.
do your job better? And I think that this is um, a good way that CEOs can empower the team, right? Because at the end of the day, is we are not telling them what to do. They've been hired for a reason, and our role is to support them and do the job the best they can, right?
100%. So, ultimately a CEO is in charge of cultivating and maintaining and growing a culture. If
Exactly.
if you if you listen to any of the great leaders who've built some of the really interesting companies that have come up in the last 5, 10 years, like the Spotifys, the Airbnbs, and you listen to what they wish that they would have doubled down on in the early days, is culture, culture, culture. So in the beginning, it was, growth, getting off the ground. Of course, everyone's like an octopus. You have to do every single job.
Mhm.
And you're in charge of creating the oxygen that everyone is breathing inside the team. And also, in those early days, you're also very much the head of HR, right? Because you're
Exactly.
really
Yeah.
bringing in all
It's
of the
you
people.
who bring the.
And every hire that you make when you're a small organization, each hire can turn the culture. So actually making sure
Yeah.
that this was also part of the point number two is that I said about, the secrets to our success is that making sure that whenever we hire someone or bring in an advisor, they're part of building the culture that we want to be and representing the culture to ourselves and to our customers. Because if we can't represent the culture to ourselves, how can we possibly represent it to our customers, right? So that's a huge part of culture. It's not just like the things that you hang on the wall or the awards and it's true, you do these things like, what are our values? How do we reward our values? How do we actually put targets for obviously performance in terms of hard numbers, but also how do you live the values of our company and how do we put that into performance metrics and measurement early on and then reward people for reaching and exceeding those kinds of goals that represent our culture. So that's huge because we know we're scaling. We know that this, today we're in Chicago, but very soon you're going to find us in other geographies in the United
Wow,
States.
that would be amazing.
And I
Please
can't
let us
wait until
know.
we can serve your
We
parents
would
in
love.
Spain as well.
Yeah. That's
Yeah.
fantastic.
Yeah.
So thank you so much, Jennifer. I think that it's been very inspiring speak with you. Number one, because double congratulations. Number one for being women in tech, which is something that we here from United Kingdom. We have a big tech hub here in UK, especially in London where we're based, and we keep seeing a lot of issues here in technology where women founders, women CEO, they get less funded than anybody else, and is very slow percentage. And at the end of the day, they're building beautiful companies, and we should raise awareness about how we can support women in tech and women CEO because they do have good projects as good as the boys, right? Sometimes even better.
Yeah. And
So what can we do?
representation matters because we are serving older women who are living at home
There you
independent.
go.
And we are
Exactly.
serving the caregivers who are also middle-aged women. And so we are we're the voice of the customer. And
Exactly.
so, to finance a company like us and to fund a company like us,
You're making
that
an
is
impact in society. You're making a difference.
100%. So it's purpose, it's profits, and
Exactly. A
you're
lot of
investing
impact
in the,
investors out there,
yeah,
right? That
yeah,
that want to invest, like I said, in women, in companies. We are aware that there are some investors out there that we call them impact investors, right? They only
yep.
want to invest in companies that are making an impact, even in social responsibility, in making a difference, right? So this demographic that you're talking about is really sensitive, right? And they need support, and they do have needs and problems, and it needs to be solved, right? So on that note, thank you so much, Jennifer. Double congratulations. Keep going. Let us know about your growth. Yeah, we are more than happy to support you from here, from from our podcast, and share all your victories.
Thank you so much.
Thank you so much. And for every single one of you listening, here you go, an example of women empowerment and building something really complicated, which is a tech company that is helping our seniors, right? And making a big difference in the world. So if you want to keep listening stories how brave entrepreneurs overcome the challenges, the fears, and manage to achieve the first million in sales, then follow us. Bye for now.
Follow us for more interviews with world's most influential, audacious entrepreneurs that overcame challenges and adversity, providing you with the blueprint of how they sold their first million so you can grow your business exponentially.